Hey folks, this is Zach. Today I'm out in the woods, I'm barefoot, and I'm running. So, that raises a few questions right away. Why am I running in the woods? It's a lot more fun than running down a sidewalk or something. Why am I barefoot? Well, I just got new shoes and their heels are way too big. Feels uncomfortable going in them. Feels like it's making my feet weak. So, I'm going without shoes for now. So, I've been out in these woods before for filming. I actually filmed the video where I was looking for a hidden bunker out here. And I filmed a now deleted video. Sadly, I accidentally deleted several videos. I filmed a video showing off the fire pit out in the woods. But I'm going to refilm that one after I'm done running today. And here's the trail I'm on. Lots of pine cones. Lots of pine cones right here. Lots of plants and roots that I've just gone off trail. But my feet are pretty tough. I can step out a pine cone without hurting too bad. And it's a lot more fun running on this surface than running on like in the stadiums or down a sidewalk or anything. You actually get decent obstacles. It feels like you're like hunting down some animal on the plains of Africa or something. Much more fun. And you can sort of hear in the background there's a concert going on campus. Don't know who's singing, don't know who's playing, but I might check that out if they're still around when I'm done filming. Anyway, it's sort of hard to pay attention to the camera while you're jogging barefoot in the woods. There's lots of stuff I could trip over, so I'm like keeping one eye up on the camera and one eye down on the ground. But barefoot running is really a fun thing to do once you've gotten used to it. At first, it sort of hurts your feet, but eventually your feet get way tougher, and it's really useful for if you're hiking in certain areas. I travel to some countries where most people wear hiking sandals or just like deck sandals going about their day, and I've had my sandals break before I was climbing a mountain before, and in that case I just have to take both my sandals off and climb it barefoot. And if my feet hadn't been built up already, that would have been really hard because there were some sharp things on the ground. But as it was, I didn't have any trouble. That was a really fun hike. But anyway, I'm out here in Lake Alice Woods. This is actually a mountain biking trail. I believe they're the ones who maintain this the most. And I'm going to turn the camera so you see what I'm seeing. It's quite beautiful out here. You hear lots of animals. There's birds, there's squirrels. There's actually some standing water further out next to Lake Alice, and there's lots of animals walking around in there. Definitely gators too. But let me turn the camera, you'll see what I mean. So I'm just sort of running along this trail here, and during the last hurricane, a lot of trees fell down, and they sort of had to change the trail. It used to loop around a big sinkhole out in the woods here where there's a bonfire pit, but now the trail goes straight through the bonfire pit, just because there's so many fallen trees on the old trail. So I'm running down this really steep slope here and going right through this weird pit. It's huge wood piles everywhere. It definitely needs to be cleaned out, but you can have some pretty good fires out here if you wanted to. Anyway, let's keep running. I'll turn the camera back around to me in a second, but this view's much prettier. It's very much like I didn't grow up around woods like this. Woods that have good trails in them. I grew up in Sarasota. We have lots of outdoor parks, but very few actual trails in the woods that are sort of on the ground like this. Mostly the ones we have are a bit too hot to be hiking through. But I'm getting closer to University Gardens and I'm right next to Lake Alice. Oh, we just missed a hawk that way. That standing water there is sort of the edge of Lake Alice where it comes out. Sometimes that's not there. Sometimes it's a lot drier outside. But right now we've had some pretty good rainfall. I'm coming up to a sort of pine hammock right now. Oof. And the ground's a lot sharper to walk on. But here we go. All the other trees back there were sort of swampy trees. And this is one drier area full of pines. And the trail doesn't really work through it. I'm going to turn back and get back on the other trail because I think there's some structures up ahead. ROTC, the military students, they do some drills out here, and they built some lean-tos, which are sort of like tents or temporary shelters made out of sticks. Sort of keeps the wind out, disguises you from enemies, keeps a bit of your heat in. And I want to see if they're still standing because I want to crawl inside them. So let's turn the camera, and yeah, I get ready to see one of the lean-tos up ahead. And there's another one. We're gonna go straight inside these things. Now it looks like there are 3 of them, and one of them over here, if I was like a teacher giving my students a grade, this one gets an F. Taking a break from running for a second. Whew. This one gets an F. Doesn't really protect you at all. You could totally see someone through that, but there's lots of space in there at least. The next one, maybe a C or a D. It covers you a lot better. It's sort of falling apart. It's been here for a few months, but there's not any room inside there. The last one's over here, and it gets an A. This, you wouldn't really see it from a distance, and it's been up here for months. It's still in good condition. And look inside here. There's actually room. There's spider webs now. Look at all those little spiders. But I'm gonna brush that web aside, and there's actually room. There's room for a person in here, and it looks like this would keep the rain off you. My entire body's in here now. I'm very pale. I got a tan again. And yeah, it'd definitely keep the rain off me. If I had a sleeping bag, I'd be pretty warm in here. And no one could see me in here. That's one of the coolest parts. I'm not sure if you're supposed to be head first in a lean-to, or if your head's supposed to be like, your head's supposed to be poking out like this, just so you could get out of it faster if someone showed up. But anyway, let's get out of the lean-to. That's pretty cool it's lasted so long. It's been here at least 3 or 4 months now, I believe, because I got to Gainesville in November and this was already built. Anyway, let's brush all the dirt off me from laying on the ground. Then I'm gonna keep running. Oh, actually, I need to stop filming a second. I got some dirt inside my ear. Ear's cleaned. Anyway, I came out here to film a little run. I was going to run stadiums later, but I really didn't want to. But I brought clothes, of course. I didn't walk across campus in shorts and no shoes. So I've hidden my clothes out in the woods, and I will, because I deleted that one video of the bonfire by accident, I will have to make another video sort of showing off these woods. There's some cool stuff out here. So while I walk back to retrieve my clothes, I will film a non-jogging video. Sort of hard to keep up any running commentary while you're running. It is for me at least. I'm not much of a runner. I'm not going very fast right now. I'm not in perfect shape either. I just finished bulking and now I'm trying to like eat healthy again for a while so I could lose some weight. I think I'm almost 200 now. But yeah, in terms of just running in general, I realized I deleted the other video where I was running, so I'll have this be like a makeup of that one too. I used to be a trainer. I used to be a fitness trainer, and this cardio, like running, rowing, swimming, that's the hardest thing for me. I could go in the gym, I could lift weights for 60 minutes, 90 minutes, whatever. Not an issue for me, but I do 5 minutes of running, even like a jog, like I'm doing now, and I'm so tired, I will quit. But if you do that, then your heart gets weak. Then, especially with all the vaccine stuff and myocarditis, I don't want my heart being weak right now. Anyway, I've gotten to the end of this boardwalk. I'm going to turn the camera so you can all see Lake Alice. They have, gotta catch my breath. They've cut down a bunch of trees, it seems like, because look at all those little minnows down there. There's minnows or tadpoles in the water going around. There's it's sunny. You can see a lake. There's lots of dry areas out here, actually. You could definitely stand on that. But you wouldn't want to walk into this lake. There are tons of gators out there. Sometimes you can hear them at night. And I know some classes, like the marine science people, go out here to catch fish and do their weird marine science on them. But for the most part, no one uses this lake. It's just here for animal habitat, and like lakes like this do help clean the water out. So it's nice that we have this in the middle of campus. It's beautiful out here. And technically Gainesville is a forest because it has more than 10% tree cover. At least when I was a student it did. So this whole area, all of Gainesville, is classified as a forest, or at least UF campus is. It's not something you think about really until you go and live in a city for a while that does not have that sort of tree cover, and you're like, wow, this city's so ugly and gray. Like, I feel like I'm losing my humanity the longer I stay here. But here at UF, you got woods everywhere, so it's nice. Anyway, back to running. Whew. This is actually quite a fun surface to run on. Gives you a little bit of a bounce. That's why I like running outdoors in general. It's concrete and pavement has been proven to be bad for your feet. And some shoes are also proven to be bad for your feet, although it's hotly debated. Oh, big hole in the ground. The general rule is if your shoes have huge arch supports in them, it does make your feet weaker, because just like working out or walking around in a knee brace would do, would make your leg weaker, running with too supportive shoes will make your feet weak. You have muscles in your feet that are meant to support your arches and your heels and all that. So if you wear shoes that do it for you, those muscles aren't getting used enough and they'll get weaker, which is not great. Some experts say that's why so many long distance runners and even like sprinters get injuries throughout their careers, because, oh, I gotta walk across this weird log. They get injuries because they're wearing shoes that sort of weaken really important muscles in their foot. Like, it's easier to run with these shoes on, but over time, it's sort of like taking out a loan and your body pays for it over time. It's easier to run now, but after a few years, you get really weak muscles in your feet and you'll get injuries. So I'm going barefoot. Not even sure if you can see my feet there. Barefoot. Anyway, I've sort of come out in the wrong area. I'm going to run back onto the trail, see if I can come out next to Lake Alice again. There's sort of like a hammocking spot. But these woods are huge. This is probably the biggest woods, roots. Probably the biggest woods on campus. And see here, this is where the trail goes down. And these woods come out all over the place. You come out near the big medical school parking garage out here. You come out anywhere really. It's a good place if you want to just relax and study. I've seen other people filming videos out here, even doing homework, writing essays, just doing what people in Japan call forest bathing, where they believe that it's healthy to spend at least half an hour in the woods every day, just sort of sitting around, seeing all the green, hearing the animals. Some scientists there, or maybe it's like philosophers, I don't know, they say that's good for human beings, just to like sort of bathe in the ambience of the forest for an hour or so every day, or even half of that. Anyway, I have turned the camera and come out on the trail. There's people hammocking out here in their hammocks. I don't want to get them in the video, but get a better view of the lake from out here. And, lots of sounds of cars and buses in the background. We found, some sort of kid's toy, I guess. But the lake is gorgeous out here, just all the reflections and stuff. But like I said, you zoom in there, it says there are alligators and snakes in the area, so you can't really go into this water. Anyway, I'm going to get back on the trail. My friend just showed up and he wants to go film somewhere. So I gotta go retrieve my stashed clothing and meet up with him, probably out near that big sinkhole in the woods. So I'm running back now. I'm not really sure how I'll edit this video together, because I sort of take my videos in short clips, just film whenever I have something to say. And this is my first time using a selfie stick to film. It just gives a better angle, but it means that whenever I want to click the stop button on my footage, I need to sort of reach up my hand like I'm doing now and click stop. And same when I start filming a new clip, I need to sort of reach my hand up and click film. So I don't know yet if I'm going to sort of edit out the last couple seconds and the first few seconds of every clip, just so you don't see my hand going up, But yeah, I'll probably have to do that. Anyway, I'm out here. I'm going to turn the camera because it's really beautiful out here. And I'm sort of running past all these roots and things out on the trail. I'm about to get back on this boardwalk. Trying not to step on all these roots or this hole. And here we go. So my friend's gonna be meeting me that way out at University Gardens, but my clothes are stashed way deep into the woods, so I gotta speed up my running a bit and go get them. Whew. Now I've heard people make ASMR videos, which are like sort of the sounds of different things, like people walking on leaves and stuff like that. It's supposed to be pleasant to listen to. I don't really know how to make those, but that's something interesting too I might think of. Because I realized that a lot of my videos are sort of just me walking out in nature. And for me at least, it's really pleasant to listen to the sounds of someone like hiking over dead leaves, or like walking over a bunch of twigs and sticks, walking through the water and stuff. Especially for someone who has a desk job, which at the moment I sort of do. I'm working at a hotel right now, front desk. But for someone who has to spend most of their day inside, it's nice just to listen to like meditative sounds of nature, you know, like the birds in the background, just the sound of branches waving around. There's not enough of that in people's lives, I feel like. And I'm saying this as someone who lives in a city that is technically a forest because there's so many woods in it. I can't imagine what it would be like to live in a like inner city New York or something, where I've never been there, but I imagine there's not many trees aside from like Central Park. At least not trees in the woods like this. Like trees growing out of the pavement don't quite count, if you know what I mean. And it's sad to think that so many people live really urban lives away from nature, like completely divorced from nature. How many people you think have never seen a cow or touched a cow? That's incredibly sad, because people are meant to live in nature around animals. I think a lot of the sort of mental problems people have now, like depression, sociopathy, violence and aggression, a lot of that comes from people living outside of nature. And ow, just hit my foot on a root. But yeah, a lot of that comes from people living away from nature in sort of gray, ugly cities. Like, how many places have you seen in cities where they don't even like paint murals on the walls? Like, there's so many ways that we can make our own environment more beautiful, and people just don't do it because it's a waste of money or whatever. Like, imagine how much money the government's spending on like foreign wars and subsidizing banks and businesses and stuff. If they spent the tiniest fraction of that on like painters, people who are just like amateur artists painting colorful murals on buildings and stuff, just so when you're out walking in the city, you see artwork or paintings of nature and stuff. Just a bit of money spent on that could make the urban environment so much more beautiful, and probably stop a lot of crime and sort of mental illness from happening. I don't know if, I'm sure some psychologists will say, no, that's not the reason people are so messed up these days. But you can't look around here and say people could be as mentally healthy living in a place where it's all skyscrapers and gray sidewalks as they would be living here. You can't say that. But I'm about to go off trail because I left my stuff sort of stashed out way out near the swamp, near the standing water, because I was seeing people out in these woods. I didn't want anyone to grab my shoes or my headphones or my water and stuff. So I'm going to have to run off the trail and fetch those in a minute. For now though, I'm just running, trying to avoid the mud pit there. Mud everywhere, but being barefoot makes it easier. See, it doesn't matter if my foot goes in this mud. I can wash them off after and put my shoes back on. So, there's all sorts of dead trees out here from hurricanes and stuff. There's trail threading, which is like, see, the original trail's right there, but it's so muddy that people have started walking that way. It's made a new trail. That stuff in some areas can make it really hard to hike actually, because you don't know which is the real trail. You can end up getting lost out here, especially at night if you don't bring proper lights and stuff. But now that this video is almost over, I gotta say that if you want to do something like this, just running out in the woods, barefoot or not, go for it. It's one of the safer and more fun cardio activities, and besides being good for your like heart health, like cardio, it is just good for your mind to be out here in the woods, in nature, just enjoying yourself with friends, by yourself, whatever. This is sort of where people are meant to be and meant to spend their time. And with so many of us being in offices and cities now, you can't forget that this is where we are meant to be. Anyway, folks, peace out. I'll see you all later, and I gotta get to my friend before he drives away without me.